Welcome back to Grim Advice with Gretta Myers. You've entered the Grimoire with 2 M's. Let's turn the page together. Alright, we're super excited to be past the 100th episode. Today, let's slate the week. Today's the Devil's Sooty brother. Then the bear skin, the willow wren and the bear, sweet porridge, and wise folks. Alright. Without further ado, the Devil's Sooty brother. A disbanded soldier had nothing to live on and did not know how to get on, so he went out into the forest. When he walked for a short time, he met a little man who was, however, the devil. The little man said to him, "What ails you? You seem so sorrowful." Then the soldier said, "I am hungry but have no money." The devil said, "If you will hire yourself to me and be my serving man, you shall have enough for all your life. You shall serve me for 7 years, and after that you shall again be free. But one thing I must tell you, and that is, you must not wash, comb, or trim yourself, or cut your nails or hair, or wipe the water from your eyes." The soldier said, "All right, if there is no help for it," and went off with the little man, who straightway led him down into hell. Then he told him what he had to do. He was to poke the fire under the kettles wherein the hell broth was stewing, keep the house clean, drive all the sweepings behind the doors, and see that everything was in order. But if he once peeped into the kettles, it would go ill with him. The soldier said, "Good, I will take care." And then the old devil went out again and on his wanderings, and the soldier entered upon his new duties, made the fire, swept the dirt well behind the door, just as he had been hidden. When the old devil came back again, he said he looked to see if all had been done, appeared satisfied, and went forth a second time. The soldier now took a good look on every side. The kettles were standing all around hell with a mighty fire below them, and inside they were boiling and sputtering. He would have given anything to look inside them, if the devil had not so particularly forbidden him. At last he could no longer restrain himself, slightly raised the lid of the first kettle and peeped in, and then he saw his former corporal shut in. "Aha, old bird," said he, "do I meet you here? You once had me in your power, now I have you." And he quickly let the lid fall, poked the fire, and added a fresh log. After that he went to the second kettle, raised its lid also a little, and peeped in. His former ensign was in it. "Ha, old bird, so I find you here. You once had me in your power, now I have you." He closed the lid again and fetched in another log to make it really hot. Then he wanted to see who might be sitting in the third kettle. It was actually a general. "Aha, old bird, do I meet you here? Once you had me in your power, now I have you." And he fetched the bellows and made hellfire blaze under him. And so he did his work 7 years in hell, did not wash, comb, or trim himself, or cut his hair or nails, or wash the water out of his eyes. And the 7 years seemed so short to him that he thought he had only been half a year. Now when the time had fully gone by, the devil came and said, "Well, Hans, what have you done? I poked the fire under the kettles, and I've swept all the dirt well behind the doors. But you've peeped into the kettles as well. It is lucky for you that you added fresh logs to them, or else your life would have been forfeited. Now that your time is up, will you go home again?" "Yes," said the soldier. "I should very much like to see what my father is doing at home." The devil said, "In order that you may receive the wages you have earned, go and fill your knapsack full of sweepings and take it home with you. You must also go unwashed and uncombed, with long hair on your head and beard, and with uncut nails and dim eyes. And when you are asked where you are from, you must say, 'From hell.' And when you are asked who you are to say, 'The devil's sooty brother and my king as well.'" The soldier held his peace and did as the devil bade him, but he was not at all satisfied with his wages. Then as soon as he was up in the forest again, he took his knapsack from his back to empty it, but upon opening it, the sweepings had become pure gold. "I should never have expected that," said he, and was well pleased, and entered the town. The landlord was standing in front of the inn, and when he saw the soldier approaching, he was terrified, because Hans looked so horrible, worse than a scarecrow. And he called to him and said, "Where do you come from?" "From hell." "Who are you?" "The devil's sooty brother and my king as well." Then the host would not let him enter, but when Hans showed him the gold, he came and unlatched the door himself. Hans then ordered the best room in attendance, ate, drank his fill, but neither washed nor combed himself as the devil had bidden him, and at last lay down to sleep. The knapsack full of gold remained before the eyes of the landlord, and left him no peace, and during the night he crept in and stole it away. Next morning, however, when Hans got up and wanted to pay the landlord and travel further, his knapsack was gone. But he soon composed himself and thought, "You have been unfortunate, from no fault of your own," and straightway went back again to hell, and complained of his misfortune to the old devil, and begged for his help. The devil said, "Seat yourself, I will wash, comb, and trim you, cut your hair and nails, and wash your eyes for you." When he had done with him, he gave him the knapsack back again full of sweepings and said, "Go and tell the landlord that he must return you your money, or else I will come and fetch him, and he shall poke the fire in your place." Hans went up and said to the landlord, "You have stolen my money. If you do not return it, you shall go down to hell in my place, and will look as horrible as I." And the landlord gave him the money, and more besides, only begging him to keep it secret, and Hans was now a rich man. He set out on his way home to his father, bought himself a shabby smock frock to wear, and strolled about making music, for he had learned to do that while he was with the devil in hell. There was, however, an old king in that country before whom he had to play, and the king was so delighted with his playing that he promised him his eldest daughter in marriage. But when she heard that she was to be married to a common fellow in a smock frock, she said, "Rather than do that, I shall go into the deepest water." Then the king gave him the youngest, who was quite willing to do it to please her father, and thus the devil said, Sooty brother got the king's daughter. When the aged king died, the whole kingdom likewise. Huh. Interesting. Certainly interesting. Because it kind of almost contradicts the whole do good things, be a good person, and it will be repaid back to you. Because this guy... Let's start. It started I don't know. Interesting. This is interesting. Because he's just vibing, and then the devil shows up and it's like, "Hey, if you do all these weird things, then I will give you money." And he's like, "Cool, whatever," but he's like, "But don't look in the kettles," and then the kettles is all the people he, like, really hates and really gets under his skin, so he's like, "Aha! Sucks for you, I guess," and then he, like, makes them suffer more. And the devil's like, "Good on ya! Go away, here's gold," and then he leaves, and then he comes back, and be like, "Hey, devil, somebody stole my money," and he's like, "Okay, go get him, tiger," and then he goes, and then he gets married to a princess. So it's... First off, he still had to work hard for it. Like, he worked for the devil for 7 years, so... Hard work still is, a theme. Also, I think... Is there anything else I want to say before I say the point that, you know, is just kind of in my head? Hygiene. If the devil says, don't do hygiene, do hygiene, right? Because, you know, yeah. If the devil says it, then don't do it, right? Or if the devil says, don't do it, do it. Okay. I think the point I want to make is... As much as the story shows that it's like, hey, if you hate the people who did wrong to you, then, like, it'll be good on you, and if you hurt them, then whatever, it'll be fine. But again, this is let me just say, it's a fictional story about, like, going to hell. First off, that implies that these people are going to get what's coming to them. Whether you believe in karma, or an afterlife, religion, whatever, or you just believe the universe is going to take care of it. You do good things, and the people you hate, if they're bad to you, they're gonna get what's coming to them. That seems to be a theme. Also, however, like, these people have power over him, and then we're like, I'm the worst. And so then he gets this opportunity, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to make life rough for you. And he gets this opportunity, and in the story, it doesn't turn out very rough. It doesn't turn out bad for him at all, because he was in hell, and they were supposed to be punished. If you try to take action against petty action against, like, revengeful, malicious full of malice action against those who get under your skin or have wronged you, it doesn't end well for you. You know, when you're talking in class and like someone whispers to you and so you whisper back, but it's always you who gets, it's always the second whisperer who gets caught. So if you're going to take action against those who have wronged you, make sure it's like legal action, like, I don't know, filing a report or a harassment claim or talking to HR if it's work, or the teacher if it's a school or whatever, right? Because there are repercussions in the real world, because this isn't hell, believe it or not. Yeah, don't do it because this isn't here. There, rather. Alright. Alright, my gremlins, thank you for joining us for another happily ever after, or not so happily ever after. That's up for you to decide, and what you decide is valid. Because you're valid. You are. Either way, this is the end for this episode, so tune in later and we can learn more and turn new pages together.